So we continue with the chemical reactions, and we are on the second type of the chemical reaction, that is decomposition reaction. So decomposition reaction is the one in which there is one compound which due to heat or electricity or any other form is going to split into two parts, into its constituent parts, and give rise to two separate elements or compounds, and such a way when the thing happens is called as a decomposition reaction. So a reaction in which a chemical compound decomposes into two or more simpler substances is called as decomposition reaction. Okay, so the definition is a chemical reaction in which the chemical compound decomposes into two or more simpler substances. So the decomposition reaction, the general formula of a decomposition reaction will be AB is going to form into A plus B. Okay, when AB is going to convert into A plus B, then it is called as a decomposition reaction. It is a chemical reaction in which a compound decomposes to give two elements, that is AB gives you A plus B, that is two elements. So if this compound is going to give you two elements, that is also decomposition. If this compound gives you an element and a compound, then also is decomposition. If this compound gives you two different compounds, then also it is going to be a option of decomposition reaction. So let us see one by one the examples of these kind of reactions also. Now normally the decomposition takes place due to the application of heat. Okay, normally the it is quite common that हम लोग किसी चीज को हीट करेंगे तो वो कंपाउंड जो है वो दो पार्ट में स्प्लिट हो जाएगा. सो ऑन एप्लीकेशन ऑफ हीट, if the compound decomposes, this is called as thermal decomposition. So when the main source of decomposition is the heat, then it is called as thermal decomposition. That is a decomposition reaction which is brought about by a heat, then it is called as thermal decomposition. So let's see the example over here. First one, we are going to take a metallic oxide. When it is going to be heated, then what happens? So first thing is HgO on heating is going to become Hg plus O2. So same way Ag2O is going to become Ag plus O2. So this will be 2 and this will be 4. So this is something new for you, that is a metallic oxide which is mercury, or that is, sorry, which is mercury or silver. Ag is silver and Hg is mercury. Mercuric oxide or silver oxide, when they are heated, they give you mercury and oxygen, or silver and oxygen. So metallic oxides will give you two, so one compound giving you two elements. Okay, this is an example of a compound giving you two different elements. The next one is a compound giving you a new compound and an element. Okay, तो वो देखेंगे. So that will be when you have got KNO3 is going to be heated, it gives you KNO2 plus O2. Okay, we need to balance this thing. So this will be 2 and this will be 2, which I think suffice. Yeah, so here what happens? This is a compound, this is a compound, and this is the element. So this is an element, this is a compound, and this is also a compound. Here this was a compound, this is an element, and this is an element. So a compound giving you another compound and an element is example given over here. That is KNO3 will give you KNO2 plus O2, or KClO3 will give you KCl plus O2. So that is example of a compound giving you a compound and a element. The third could be a compound giving you two different compounds. So that is going to be when CaCO3 is going to be heated, it gives me CaO plus CO2. You can see this is also a compound, this is also a compound, and this is also a compound. You know the difference between a compound and an element. Element is just made up of one kind of atom, whereas compound is made up of two different kinds of atoms. So CaCO3 has got how many different kind of atoms? 3. Ca भी है, O भी है और C भी है. तीन चीज है. कैल्शियम भी है, कार्बन भी है, और ऑक्सीजन भी है. यहाँ पे कैल्शियम है, ऑक्सीजन है. यहाँ पे कैल्शियम, कार्बन है और ऑक्सीजन है. So this is a compound, this is also a compound, and this is also a compound. So example in which the compound gets converted into two different small new compounds or new substances is also a decomposition reaction. Another example of this would be ZnOH twice giving me ZnO plus H2O. So that is also going to be a thermal decomposition reaction. The next one we see is thermal dissociation reaction. Now let's see what does it mean. What is the difference between decomposition and dissociation? Now dissociation means it is a decomposition reaction in which a substance dissociates into two or more simpler substances on application of heat. The unlike thermal decomposition is a reversible reaction. So we see over here there is one example which I gave you earlier also. That is when I am having over here NH4Cl, and when I am heating it, it gives me NH3 plus HCl. But here the change is that this also forms NH4Cl when combined, or ye on heating gives you this too. So here, because of this particular kind of a thing, this is called as reversible reaction. Reversible यानी क्या? The moment I change the conditions which I am giving to it, if I am heating it, one thing is going to happen. If I am cooling it, something else is going to happen. If I heat this, I get this. If I cool this, I get this. Got it? So on changing the conditions, if you are going to get back the same material again, is called as a reversible reaction, and such a kind of decomposition which is going to take place is called as thermal dissociation. Okay, it is not decomposition, it's not decomposition, it is thermal dissociation. Why dissociation? Because it is going to dissociate, that means it is going to form into two compounds which on reacting can again come back to its original position. Okay, that's why they are called as dissociate. Dissociate means थोड़े टाइम के लिए वो सेपरेट हो जाएंगे और उसके बाद जब ये कंडीशन वापस हो जाएगा तो वापस मिल जाएंगे उन लोग. मैंने किसी चीज को हीट किया, दो फॉर्म हुए, पर उसके बाद में जब वो ठंडा हो गया तो अपने आप फिर से वो मिल भी गए. So that is called as dissociation. So it is a decomposition reaction in which a substance dissociates into two or more simpler substances on application of heat. For example, NH4Cl on heating gives you NH3 plus HCl, but on cooling, NH3 plus HCl on cooling is going to give you NH4Cl. Thermal dissociation, unlike thermal decomposition, is a reversible reaction. The next kind of reaction is the reaction in which the decomposition which is going to take place is going to take place due to the electricity supplied to it. So if I am supplying electricity to a compound, and due to the electricity, if the compound is going to break into two parts, then that is called as electrolytic decomposition. Okay, so what we have over here is electrolytic decomposition. Now electrolytic decomposition is the one in which, like for example, H2O is going to give me H2 plus O2. So water, when you pass electricity through water, it is going to give you hydrogen and oxygen gases. And so this one over here, you have to pass electric current. Okay, you are going to pass electric current through water. It is going to give you H2 plus O2. This is called as electrolytic decomposition. So a decomposition reaction which is brought about by a electric passage of electric current is called as electrolytic decomposition. The next one is photochemical decomposition, a decomposition reaction which occurs in the presence of sunlight or light, any light basically, in light, that is decomposition of silver salt in presence of sunlight. So in presence of sunlight, the silver salt like AgCl, we just formed, AgCl nahi tha wo. AgCl is going to decompose into Ag and Cl2, so that is nothing but the photochemical reaction. That means that when it is coming in contact or when there is light falling on it, it is going to decompose into two parts, and that is called as photochemical decomposition. So photochemical decomposition is the one in which the compound is going to decompose due to the presence of light on it. That is, silver salts are going to decompose when come in contact with the sunlight. So that was the decomposition reaction, wherein you had got the first one, or the main thing about decomposition reaction is AB is going to form into A plus B. Okay, so there are basically three types in fact, और ज़्यादा भी है क्योंकि वो भी photochemical भी है. Thermal decomposition, जिसके अंदर we have got one compound giving rise to two elements, or one compound giving rise to one compound other element, one compound giving rise to two compounds. So this is thermal decomposition of three types. This is thermal dissociation. The difference between this and this is that this is a reversible reaction. On heating it becomes this way, on cooling it becomes NH4Cl. So that is reversible reaction. Electrolytic decomposition, when electricity is passed through a compound and it splits into two parts, then it is electrolytic decomposition. And if photochemical, that is if light is made to fall on it, so that is photochemical. So if light is made to fall on the compound and gives rise to the decomposition of the compound, it is called as photochemical reaction. So this way you have got the two different decomposition reactions which are present. Okay. We now move on to the next part, and that is called as displacement reaction. Okay, displacement reaction. So displacement reaction is also called as substitution reaction. Okay. So let's see the third one, that is displacement or substitution reaction. Okay, so what we have is the third one, which is displacement or reaction, also called as substitution. A displacement reaction or substitution reaction is reaction in which one compound displaces another compound from its, one element displaces another element from a compound. So if one element is going to displace another element from a compound, then it is called as displacement reaction. We can understand this by a general formula that which will be given as A plus BC is going to give rise to AC plus B. That means this B is removed or displaced by A, and hence the B is going to get separated out. This one is called as the displacement reaction. The example over here will be Zn plus CuSO4 will give you ZnSO4 plus Cu. So what happened is the copper from the copper sulfate was replaced by zinc, forming zinc sulfate, and copper will be given out as the resultant thing. So that is called as simple displacement reaction. Now, to understand the simple displacement reaction, we will need to understand something which is called as the reactivity series. Okay, what we need to learn is the activity, or I would rather call it the reactivity series, और या तो तुम लोग को हाँ activity series ही वही करते हैं, that is activity series. Let's understand what is an activity series. So what I'll do is that I'll just go for the activity series part, which is on the page number 65 first, and then go to the displacement and the double decomposition reaction. So now first of all, what is an activity series? Series, what is a series? Series is just a method in which the elements are arranged in an ascending or descending order. So अगर कोई भी numbers जैसे 1 2 3 4 5 6 is a series, okay, 1 3 5 7 9 is a series, okay, there are a series of numbers. But here this activity series means it's a series of the elements. Let's make it simple. In your classroom, in your school, in your classroom, you must have made a list of the rankers of the school, okay? Or not in your class, maybe the 10th standard student का जब भी result आता है तो क्या होता है? They have a rankers list, okay? So first rank इसका, second rank इसका, third rank इसका, fourth rank इसका, right? So that rankers are there. What does that ranker indicate? Of course, they सबसे scholar है. ये उसके बाद उसके नंबर आते हैं, फिर इसका नंबर आता है, फिर इसका नंबर आता है, फिर इसका नंबर आता है. So you know that who is the top 10 students of the school, okay, of that year. So this way there could be an arrangement made for the different students in the class or in the school. Similarly, in chemistry you have got the ranking system based on the reactivity. Okay, कौन सा एलिमेंट सबसे ज़्यादा रिएक्टिव है और कौन सा रिएक्टिव नहीं है. But this is not related to the complete 118 elements which are there in the complete periodic table or in the complete chemistry. We are going to consider only a few metals which are very prominently available or very easily available in the nature, and also easily the compounds are easily available. तो हम लोग वही कुछ around I would say around 10 to 15 such elements we are going to take and rank those elements in the descending order of their reactions. यानी क्या? Descending order यानी क्या? सबसे reacting, सबसे topmost, rank 1 ऊपर, फिर rank 2, then rank 3, then rank 4, then rank 5, then rank 6. So accordingly, you will find that the one which is at the bottom will be least reactive and one at the top will be highly reactive. Okay, so it will be this way that if I am writing the numbers, so the highly reactive will be over here and the least reactive will be over here. So this way it is going to go downwards. So what is this reactivity series? So the reactivity series goes this way, that it is going to be starting with K. What is K? Potassium. Okay, potassium, then sodium, okay, उसके बाद calcium, magnesium, okay, then aluminium, zinc, okay, aluminium, zinc, Fe, there's iron, Pb, which is lead, then comes hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver, gold, platinum. Okay, so it is, sorry, platinum and gold. I think it should be gold, platinum anyway. Platinum, gold. So it is potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver, platinum and gold. So ये है रैंकिंग सिस्टम केमिकल्स का, मेटल्स का रैंकिंग सिस्टम. क्या है? सबसे टॉप रैंक पोटेशियम. उसका मतलब क्या हुआ? पोटेशियम इज द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट मेटल. Okay, potassium is highly reactive metal. Okay, it reacts very fast. Sodium उससे थोड़ा कम फास्ट, ओके, बट वो भी हाईली रिएक्टिव. These two are extremely reactive. The next comes is calcium. Calcium is slightly less reactive than this two. Magnesium slightly more or less, okay, slightly और थोड़ा कम magnesium. और थोड़ा कम aluminium, then zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper, hydrogen से भी कम, okay, and ये सब कम reactive है, very less reactive, like mercury, silver, gold, platinum. Platinum, gold are something which are not going to react at all, and that's why they are made for jewelry. आज gold की ज्वेलरी क्यों होती है? You see, if you make a jewelry of silver jewelry after some time they do become black, okay, they do become black, so that is why वो the silver oxide बनता है. So that is why silver के articles इतने ज़्यादा नहीं बिकते हैं जितने gold के बिकते हैं, because gold का क्या है, gold doesn't react, gold doesn't react at all, so because it's the least reactive, and that's why it can easily be used for jewelry, because it is going to retain its color and shade and everything properly without any problems. So that is why they are the least reactive. So we can see over here that potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminum, zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver, platinum, gold. This is the reactivity series which you need to learn by heart. Okay, not for the 8th standard. 8th standard maybe you are not required to learn this thing completely, but in the 9th and the 10th standard it is very important for you to know these things, because many of the reactions will be helpful if you know this particular thing over here, right? So this is called as a reactivity series. In fact, इसको कुछ तक याद रखने के लिए up to I would say up to this point you can even remember, because normally इतना ही ज़्यादा काम में आता है, first 10 5 6 7 ही काम में आते हैं. So उसके लिए तो there is also a method to remember it. The method is this way, that this two Ka is called as Katrina Kef, yeah, Katrina कार मांगे, ओके, एमजीज मांगे. कौन सी कार मांगती है? तो पहले वो थोड़ी ये थी, इसलिए उसने क्या मांगा, आल्टो मांगा, सिर्फ आल्टो. उसके बाद थोड़ा ज्यादा आगे गए तो जेन मांगा उसने, ओके. उसके बाद क्या मांगा, फेरारी मांग दिया, तो फेरारी. और उसके बाद पॉश, ओके. हाइड्रोजन के बाद का लर्न करने का इतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है जितना ये है. सो what is that? Katrina car मांगे. So Katrina car मांगे, Alto, Zen, Ferrari, Zen, Ferrari, Porsche. Okay, right? Katrina, that is potassium, sodium. Katrina car मांगे, calcium, Mg, magnesium. Alto, aluminium, Zen, zinc. Ferrari, iron. Porsche, lead. Porsche PB, that is lead. Got it? So you can remember this. Katrina car मांगे, Alto, Zen, Ferrari, Porsche. So this one will help you to remember the activity series. Now why would it require, why do we require the activity series to be learned? Because if you know the activity series, you will know that which can displace what in the displacement reaction. What is the displacement reaction? Okay, let's understand what is the displacement reaction. Displacement reaction में क्या होता है? एक पर्टिकुलर कंपाउंड है जिसके अंदर कोई एक पर्टिकुलर मेटल है और दूसरा नॉन मेटल है. दूसरा मेटल आता है और वो पहले वाले मेटल को किक ऑफ करता है और खुद अंदर घुसता है. दैट इज डिस्प्लेसमेंट रिएक्शन. ओके, दैट इज A over here displaces B and gives you resultant as AC plus B. So this is displacement reaction. Okay, I'll make it more clearer and easier for you to understand. Okay, one sec. Right, most of you, I'm sure that you must have seen the Student of the Year movie 1. Okay, first one wala, Varun Dhawan wala. Okay, so if you've seen the movie over there, it's a perfect example of displacement reaction. What was the initial story? Initial story was Varun Dhawan had a girlfriend who was Alia Bhatt. Okay, Varun Dhawan was with Alia Bhatt. What happens? Suddenly in the movie comes Siddharth Malhotra, who is much better in sports than Varun Dhawan, much better in academics than Varun Dhawan, looks wise be taller and all. So what happened? In this case, Varun Dhawan says Siddharth Malhotra is much more stronger. So what will happen? He kicked off Varun Dhawan from Alia Bhatt and became a partner with Alia Bhatt. This is precisely what happens in chemistry. A over here is Siddharth Malhotra. B over here is Varun Dhawan, who is with Alia Bhatt. What happens in the course of the movie? This Siddharth Malhotra kicks off this Varun Dhawan. So Alia Bhatt and Siddharth Malhotra become a pair and Varun Dhawan is left alone. Yes. Exactly this is what is going to happen even in chemistry. Chemistry, the stronger will always be overcoming the one which is weaker. And who is the stronger? The one which is in the top in the periodic table. In this particular activity series. So that means Zn can easily displace hydrogen, whereas sodium potassium can easily displace zinc. अगर यही रिएक्शन के अंदर अगर समझो पहले ऑलरेडी ZnSO4 था, Na जाएगा तो NaSO4 हो जाएगा, Zn बार भाग जाएगा. Got it? So in this way you see that as per the activity series, Zn, so we have got the example over here that Zn reacts with CuSO4 to give you ZnSO4 plus Cu. So that is, why is that so? Because Cu is over here, Zn is over here, Zn is here and Cu is here. So this can displace this. Similarly, I got over here K plus H2O is going to give you KOH plus H2. So you can see K and H इधर आराम से H2 में से H को भगा दिया उसने and it formed into this particular compound. So this, of course, you need to balance this thing. So this is the reaction in which K displaces hydrogen from the water. That's why K higher in the activity series than hydrogen, and hence it displaces it very easily. So what is the displacement reaction? Displacement reaction में एक ही चीज होता है that the element which is above the other one in the reactivity series is going to displace that particular element from the compound and take its place. Okay, so that is called as displacement reaction. So displacement reaction is any element placed higher in the activity series displaces the element placed below it from a solution of its compound. So from a solution of its compound, this particular element is going to displace this particular element from that particular element of the compound. So that is called as displacement reaction. A plus BC is going to give me AC plus B. Zn plus CuSO4 gives ZnSO4 plus Cu. K plus H2O gives me KOH plus H2. So that is called as displacement reaction. We now move on to the fourth kind of reaction, that is double decomposition reaction. But that will be the next video.